This your boy the Black Shaman, and you are tuning in to the Woke Godz. Now, this is going to be a YouTube channel that's going to deal with basically everything that we need as a people to come back into understanding. And that is our ancient ways. You feel me? We must honor thy father and thy mother so that our days may be long. You feel me? So, how we basically start doing that is by re-educating ourselves as far as to what our ancestors believed and what our ancestors did and knew, because they didn't believe. That's the thing. We the ones that stuck on belief. You feel me? They didn't believe nothing. They knew. There's a difference between belief and knowingness. You feel me? Anyway, one of the main topics that I think that we need to start with is health. Also, we gotta deal with wealth. We gotta deal with nationality. That's a lot of things. That's a hard thing for people to get, but we need to deal with nationality. We gotta deal with all these hard problems that are the foundation of our struggle. You feel me? And once we start building up the foundation, then we'll have something to build upon for the future. But if we don't have no foundation, we trying to build in sand and something that's movable and easily shifty, it's gonna continue to crumble. And once we separate ourselves and start to value ourselves, we don't work. It don't matter who value us or not. We know that they love us. We know that they can't do nothing without us. And when I say us, I mean the melanated people. You feel me? Anyway, we know that. But we are so caught up into patronizing them that we don't understand that we are the value. You feel me? And we are the ones that they are trying to reel in because we are the ones that's the value. And it's not saying that they're not valuable, but we understand that everything came from us. So when you want to talk about potency and power, you go to the most potent, to the closest to the source. You feel me? And that don't knock no Caucasians. They don't knock none of them. But we gotta have pride of ourselves first. You feel me? They got pride of themselves. They ain't got problems with, you feel me, loving themselves. We got problems with loving ourselves. So that's the main thing that I think that we need to start focusing on is loving is love of ourselves. You know, understanding that the black man was here first. You feel me? They had to have a spirituality then too. If we created all these sciences, we did all this religion, we did the language, we did all this, don't you think that we had a form of spirituality that outdated all the even the language that was written to tell the stories of spirituality? The spirituality system was there before the language was even there, because they was writing down what they already knew. So when people want to use physical things and try to date the time and the knowledge of our ancestors, they all off. All of it's off. You can go back to Kemet, and anything that's in Kemet was in Kemet and was known by everybody way before they wrote it on stone. You feel me? So what the whole common understanding is, before they put that knowledge down on the stone, they had to have it in the head. So you trying to say, oh, this knowledge date back to this date? It can't. It's impossible. They already knew the knowledge. For them to even have the intellectual to put it down on stone, they had to have it in their head already. So there is no time when man was not, especially when you're using this linear Gregorian calendar that don't apply to nothing that our ancestors deal with, which is why when you deal with all ancient languages, they don't really deal with tense. You feel me? They deal with the now. They don't do past and present tense. You feel me? They deal with the now. They speak in now, because that's the only thing that does exist is the now. You feel me? You watching this shit now is always gonna be now. Tomorrow is gonna be now. You feel me? Any time that exists is now. You feel me? So just basic understanding this like that. You feel me? That's a co-science 101. That time is an illusion. And a lot of people be like, yeah, that's bullshit. How time is not an illusion? Okay, let me tell you this then. Think about this. You measure time by how many times the sun rotates around the earth, and that's what you call a day. However many times it rotates one time around the earth, it's a day. Well, how would you measure time if you wasn't on earth? Wouldn't the sun rotate way slower? Wouldn't it take way longer for the sun to rotate around whatever planet? If you was on Saturn, it'd take hundreds and hundreds of days for the damn sun to rotate all the way around Saturn. So would you then tell me a day is infinity on somewhere else? You feel me? The illusion of time is basically to where you're at and the perspective that you're looking at. You feel me? And that's why they say, shit, 1,000 years is like 100,000 years is a blink of an eye of a god. You feel me? It's because the perspective that they're sitting that way up there, and, you know, the sun ain't rotating around their bodies or around the planets that they at. We perceive time because we are caught in this physical matrix, which is separated from the one and all. But, you know, when we get into topics like this is what we're going to be doing. But basically, these topics need to be broken down by people that understand it. And I'm going to have some of my people on here. A lot of my young what they call them? A lot of my young high priests, you feel me, is going to be around. And we're going to be chopping it up. And things like this, man, just, they need to be broken down to the public. Because it's a lot of people that's taking the knowledge and in this, just holding it over people's head. Like, ha, you can't understand me. I'm confusing. I'm using a lot of big words. You feel me? But in reality, it's so simple. And the way that you really show that you understand it is to be able to break it down to a kid. If I can take these high quantum mechanics and quantum physics and break it down to you to where you can understand it, and I don't gotta use no big words. I can use analogies and I can use examples to help you understand it. That is true intellectual. You feel me? That is a true intellectual. That's a true person. That's a true genius who's able to mutate and you feel me, form something that's super complex into something that's small. That's alchemy right there. You feel me? That's the sign of an alchemist right there, is to be able to transmute something from one state to another. Now, understanding that, you feel me, we know that alchemy is the basic principle of everything. Spirituality, money, health, whatever you want to deal with, you understand that alchemy is it. And what is alchemy? Alchemy basically is changing something from one state and making it into another. So it's what they called, or used to say, was turning lead to gold. This was the analogy to taking nothing, or taking something and making something else with it. But it was taking something from a putrid state, or a bad state, or a worthless state, and making it something super valuable. You feel me? And that's basically the same process that man goes through as being a man and becoming a god. You feel me? And that's the alchemy. You feel me? And it is so many different levels of our existence that alchemy shows its head, and it's with everything. I mean, as far as even working, you going to work and turning that into cash. You feel me? You taking your body and your sweat, your blood, your tears, and turning that into another product that you went and made, took the money, transferred it into something else. It's alchemy. Everything is. And that's why it's so important to understand these sciences, because once you understand the basic principle sciences of the universe, you are able to move throughout the universe at ease. I mean, effortlessly. And so basically, first assignment I'm gonna give out to my watchers, my viewers: if you don't understand the 7 hermetic principles, or if you don't know the 7 hermetic principles, you feel me, go look them up and study them. Those are the basics, fundamental to the laws of the universe. Everything in this world and universe is mimicked after those laws. Once you learn those laws, you are now able to move throughout this universe with ease, because That's how everything is built. You feel me? That's why they say follow the higher laws to rule on a lower realm. You have to follow the higher law. Even the gods follow the laws. The demons follow the laws. They have to. There's no way around it. And that's where they've been getting us caught up. Is because we don't even understand the law. We don't understand the higher laws and how to move about and all these different things that you have to do when you going in interfacing with spiritual realms and spiritual beings. And man, it's so complicated. They make it seem complicated. Let's say that. It's so complicated because they make it seem complicated. But when you take the time and come back to your natural self, you feel me? You go back to the knowledge of the ancestors, then automatically it starts sinking in. It start becoming sync with you. You feel me? Your genetic memory, which is the memory that creates every dang organ in your body, every memory cell, every muscle cell, anything in your body is created through the DNA and the memory that it has, and it's passed on to you, right? In that same memory, you have a memory of your ancestors and their ways. If you could try to just tap back into that memory, you feel me? Coming back into your true self, you feel me? Which is your higher self. Then it's a wrap. Nobody will be able to stop you. But one last thing I got to say before this is over. I don't know.